YouTubies, this is Psychic Bob. It is so rockin' to be with you. Well, here we are. It's Monday. It's a new week. And, I want to say thank you to all of you who came out yesterday to my video on my Sunday walk. We certainly had a good time. And I'm so glad so many of you decide to join me for the walk. And we're going to do that, more regularly here. So definitely keep watching. So thank you for all of you who came out. If you haven't seen that, that's the video right before this one. You want to check it out. Anyways, well, here we are. It's Monday. And, it's a new week, a new day. And I've decided to start a new video series. That's right. Every Monday now, for the next probably 4 to 5 weeks, we're going to do what's called Melchizedek Monday. That's right. Many of you may remember several months ago, I was initiated into the Order of Melchizedek. And for those of you who haven't seen it, I'll put the link in the box below. But the Order of Melchizedek is a special priesthood. It's a priesthood of people who believe in doing spiritual work on the earth. The Order of Melchizedek is not limited to any one religious tradition. There are a number of people from a Judeo-Christian background that are in the Order of Melchizedek, but you do not have to be from a Judeo-Christian background. There are various branches of the Order of Melchizedek, and I was initiated into a branch called the Order of the Golden Light of Melchizedek, and it's also a part of the Universal Melchizedek Order. So there are many branches, but the branch that I belong to, as I said, is the Order of the Golden Light of Melchizedek. And let me kind of just tell you, some of you know this story, but for a lot of you are new here, or maybe this will be a refresher for those of you who've heard it. But I have been drawn all my life to the Order of Melchizedek. It actually started back when I was in college, and I was taking a world religions class, and I had to do a research project. And I decided at that time to do a research project on the New Age movement. And as part of my research, I interviewed a number of different practitioners of the New Age. Now, you have to remember, this was back in the 1980s, and the New Age movement was really big. Shirley MacLaine was really out there. All of her books were selling. A lot of the ideas of the New Age were very literally new then and considered really transformative and very powerful. Today, a lot of people, look at the New Age movement as kind of almost mainstream. But back in the 1980s, it was really cutting edge. And I was fortunate to be alive during that time and in a place in my life where I could kind of explore that whole spirituality. And in those days, this was before I was actually a Wiccan or even heard of Wicca. I was a spiritualist, but I was not actually any formal religious tradition at the time. But in my research, I met a gentleman who I interviewed who was a priest of Melchizedek. And I went to his home, and as I was interviewing him, I saw his certificate on the wall, and it said he was a priest of Melchizedek. And I said, tell me about this. And he said, well, the Order of Melchizedek is, it's an order of mystical people who do meditations for healing the earth. We, some of us do marriages. We do facilitate workshops to bring enlightenment to people. So I said, so within the Order of Melchizedek, you can kind of choose your own kind of ministry and work with your spiritual self that way. And he said, yes, that's accurate. I said, that's pretty neat. Well, he said to me, I'm an initiating priest of the Order of Melchizedek. And he said, I think you're a very spiritual person, and I think you would do very well in the Order of Melchizedek. And at that time, I still wasn't that familiar with the whole New Age movement. And he actually said, would you like to be initiated into the order? He said, I'd like to teach you some lessons. He said, no charge, there's no cost for initiation. And he said, in fact, he was forbidden from charging for initiation, that it was meant to be given freely to those who requested it. And I said at the time, I wasn't really sure about it. And I said, well, I don't know. I'll think about it. Well, anyways, time went on and I finished college and I moved back home, and I kind of lost touch with that gentleman. But over the years, I never forgot the Order of Melchizedek, and I started to research it, and I realized, wow, this is really something neat. Now, this was in the days before the internet, and to find stuff, you had to literally go to bookstores and look up books or libraries. We didn't have the technology like we do today, so finding stuff on the order took a lot more effort. But I did find some various contacts through some New Age magazines back in the day. But what I ran into was that many of the people that would grant initiations charged a very large fee. They wanted $1,000 to get your priesthood initiation. And I thought, well, I don't have any money. Remember, I was just out of college, so I wasn't employed, didn't have a lot of money back then. So then I would find occasionally another contact on a far-flung corner of the world who would be offering free initiations for the Order of Melchizedek. But the thing is, you then had to travel there. So like I might have to travel from Virginia all the way to California and spend a week with a teacher to get initiated. And that then became cost prohibitive because even though the initiation was free, the cost of travel and expenses was more than I could bear. So I never was able to find anybody to initiate me into the Order of Melchizedek. So years went by and I just thought, well, I guess I'm not meant to be a member of the Order of Melchizedek. Well, then over the last few months, I ended up encountering somebody online who claimed to be a priest of the order. And anyway, she's a wonderful lady, and she decided to grant me an initiation. And she said, I'm going to give you your initiation for free. I'm going to make you an initiating priest. And and in turn, what you should do is anybody who requests initiation from you, you are now authorized to initiate, but you must give the initiation for free. She said, a lot of people in the Order of Melchizedek do charge for initiations, but she said, you received yours freely, and I hope that in exchange, you will give it freely to people who are truly seeking it. So that is how I became an order. It took me, 30 years almost to get into the Order of Melchizedek. But you know what? As I say, when things are meant to happen, they happen. So beginning of this year, I actually finally got an initiation into the Order of Melchizedek. And in the branch I am in is the Order of the Golden Light of Melchizedek. So, long story short, the reason why I'm starting this series on Monday, every Monday for the next 4 to 5 weeks, we'll see if we go 4 weeks or 5, may go a little longer depending on questions and how much stuff comes up. But what we're going to do is every Monday I'm going to do a video, and it's going to be a little lesson about the Order of Melchizedek. And at the end of our series, as I said, in 4 to 5 weeks, we're going to have an initiation. And I can do the initiations at a distance through YouTube, through video. So we'll have an initiation video that if you participate in that video and go through the initiation process, you will then be an initiate of the Order of the Golden Light of Melchizedek. So I thought I would start this. And, today I just want to introduce the concept to you guys, see how you feel about it, okay? Now, I am going to be giving you kind of some small homework assignments at the end of each video each week. And, it's nothing going to be very big and complex, but just some stuff to help prepare you. Because, the first time when I was invited to join the order, the guy who wanted to initiate me into the order was very eager and very excited. And I believe that he saw in me my spiritual potential that I didn't see within myself. So I think that's, my hesitancy, my lack of knowledge made me fearful of taking on the priesthood. Luckily, I'm older now and I've been able to see and learn, and so I feel ready. So for those of you who may say, well, Bob, I'm interested, but I don't know, we're doing this video series to give you a chance to kind of learn some concepts, learn some techniques, kind of find out if this is something you might want to do. Okay, so now let me state first off that there is no pressure to join this order. It is a free will order. You can join it at any time you want or resign it at any time you want. But I do ask only that people that choose to take an initiation only do so if you are very serious about it. This is not a joke. It's not something to be just taken lightly or entered into on a whim, because it is a sacred initiation, a sacred path. And now some of you are going to say, well, Psychic Bob, I'm a Wiccan. Do I have to do this or should I do this? It doesn't matter what your religion is. If you're a Wiccan, you can also be a member of the Order of Melchizedek. If you're a Christian, you can be a member of the Order of Melchizedek. If you're Jewish, you can be a member of the Order of Melchizedek. Doesn't matter what your religion is, Buddhist, Hindu, Zoroastrian, whatever you are. But the Order of Melchizedek is really an order that is bigger than any one religion. It's about attunement to the Spirit of God, the Spirit of light, and working with the ascended masters, particularly the master Melchizedek. Now, speaking of Melchizedek, let me put his picture up here on the screen for you. This is a picture of Melchizedek. And interestingly, this was one of the very first pictures I ever saw when I was exploring the order. And this image has resonated with me and stuck with me for a long time. So I'm going to have this image put on my website in the next few days. Lady Angela is my webmaster. And so as soon as I can get her, in my sphere of influence, shall we say, she's been busy with school, I'm going to get this picture on my website. And one of your first assignments that I would like you to do this upcoming week is to go to my website, right-click on that image, download that to your phone or your computer, and if you can, print it out and put it up somewhere in your meditation area. You can frame it if you want or just put it on the wall. But I'd like you to start as your first assignment to help attune to Melchizedek, to bring that picture into your meditation place. Because as you sit with it, you're going to see if you're attuning to Melchizedek's energies. And don't worry if at first it seems a little strange. Melchizedek has a very gentle, powerful, loving energy, and you'll soon start to feel his influence. So that's going to be your first homework assignment, is to download this picture of Melchizedek that will be on my website. I'll put up an announcement in the coming days when it's on. Okay, I'll have it on a video telling you what day it's up. So that's going to be your first assignment. Okay, now just to give you a little bit of background about Melchizedek and the Order of Melchizedek, I thought I'd read here just a little section from some books that I have. This book is by Doreen Virtue, and I recommend you get this book. It's called Archangels and Ascended Masters. Okay, reading just a little bit from Doreen Virtue's book, and we're going to go more in depth on Melchizedek in the coming weeks. But it says here basically, let me just give you a brief overview. Melchizedek's name is said to mean King of Righteousness, or genuine and rightful king. He was a Canaanite priest king of Salem, now known as Jerusalem, and was a teacher of Abraham. Ancient mystical texts describe him as one who conducts spirit releasement on a massive scale, working in conjunction with Archangel Michael. And I'm going to jump ahead here. There's a lot more. We'll cover a lot more in depth here, as I said, in the coming weeks. In New Age circles, Melchizedek is thought of as a group of high-level spiritual beings who are custodians and teachers of ancient esoteric secrets. The group is sometimes called the Cosmic Priesthood or the Order of Melchizedek. This group was described in the book of Psalms. The Lord has sworn and will not change his mind. You are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek. So, as you can see, this order is actually very ancient and very mystical. And as I said, to enter into it is no light matter. There's another book here, which is it's called The Order of Melchizedek, and it's by Reverend Daniel Chesborough, founder of the order. Now, he has a different order. It's not the same as our order. Our order is the Order of the Golden Light of Melchizedek. This one, he just calls it the Order of Melchizedek. As I said, remember, there are many branches of the order. So this is actually a different branch, but it's still in the same spirit as our order. And I'm just going to read a section here. And this is from chapter 4. Who or what is Melchizedek? And he writes and he says, the name Melchizedek has its roots in two Hebrew words, Melech, meaning king, and Tzedek, meaning righteousness. Literally, the king of righteousness, or the righteous king. I'm going to be referring here to Melchizedek as it. This is because it is an energy more than a physical body. There is only God, so there is only, excuse me, hold on, I can't read today. There is only God, so there is only God. So anything that is visible or invisible, anything that has been made manifest, is God. There isn't anything that isn't God. So Melchizedek is an aspect of God or of the light. When we talk about an aspect of the light, we are speaking of a function of that light. So God is the multitude of its manifestations as a function of itself. In this particular instance, a function we call Melchizedek. That's kind of intense, isn't it? So what he's basically saying is that the energy of God permeates the entire existence, all that we see and even things we don't see. And so as a priest of Melchizedek, what we want to do, we want to put our focus on attuning to that light that animates all life. So we're gonna study this in the coming weeks and how to attune to that and what that means. So I'm not going to make this long today. I just wanted to come here first of all and introduce the concept to you. And I'd like you to tell me in the box below, are you guys interested? How, maybe you're thinking about, would you be interested in receiving an initiation into the Order of the Golden Light of Melchizedek? As I said, we're going to have a series here the next month, every Monday for the next 4 to 5 weeks. And at the end of that series, I will do an initiation via video, which we are able to do. The lady who trained me, she did my initiation by distance. And it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience. So I can do your initiation at a distance as well. So tell me, are you interested in studying this? Are you learning this? Maybe you've had some encounters with the Order of Melchizedek. I'd like to hear about any thoughts or experiences that you have. So put them in the comments box below. Anyways, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here today. Keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got more coming. Tomorrow is Tuesday. That means messages from the spirit world. So you don't want to miss that. So be back here for that. Anyways, also hope you'll like this, favorite, hit subscribe, be part of our community. We'd sure love you to be here. And be here, as I said, tomorrow for messages from the spirit world. And next week, we'll have another Melchizedek Monday. Thanks for being here, guys. Sending you many blessings.